Hello and welcome to another episode of The Leader's Kit Bag. I'm Ben Morton and this is the weekly micro version of my podcast designed to provide you with practical, everyday tips, tools and tactics to help you be an even better leader. That's it by way of an introduction, so let's dive straight into this week's episode of The Leader's Kit Bag. Enjoy. If you are struggling to motivate your team, or if you are looking for ways to keep your team motivated, then today's episode of the Leader's Kit Bag is for you. Hey there, I'm Ben Morton. I'm a leadership mentor and performance coach, and I specialize in working with business professionals who are moving into senior leadership roles and are committed to being the very best leader they can possibly be. I'm going to start this episode of the Leader's Kit Bag with a contrary or slightly alternative view around motivation. I do not believe it is a leader or manager's job to motivate the team that they lead. Instead, I believe it's our job to ensure that those people don't become demotivated. Think about it this way. When someone joins a new organization, starts a new job, or receives a promotion, they generally do that in an excited, inspired, motivated state of mind. So, if their motivation changes, if they suddenly become demotivated, something must have happened to create that change. Perhaps the leader or manager did something that has demotivated them. Now, what I've just said isn't black and white, and it's not that cut and dry, of course. There may well be circumstances when we do need to motivate people. Perhaps there's been some significant organizational change which has affected people's motivation, and we need to get them re-motivated. Or perhaps you are taking over a brand new team that isn't particularly motivated because of something that happened in the past or something that their previous leader or manager did. But my point is this: it is much more useful for us to focus our time, effort, and attention on making sure we are not doing things that are going to demotivate those that we lead and manage. Now, you may be sitting there thinking, yeah, but I don't do this. Well, maybe you might do, unintentionally, of course. The research around workplace motivation is pretty shocking. A Gallup study conducted in 2023 found that globally, just 15% of people say they are motivated at work. And in the UK, my home country, this dropped to around 8%. Shocking, right? Now, in case those statistics don't give you enough motivation to focus on not demotivating your people, here are some more stats that might resonate with the more business or commercially minded amongst you. Motivated employees are 87% less likely to leave an organization. And I'm sure you know the costs associated with recruiting and onboarding new people, not just financially, but the time and effort it takes us as leaders and managers to complete that process. And secondly, motivated employees can increase the company's profitability by around 21%. And what organization wouldn't want to boost profitability by that amount? The final thing I have for you in today's episode of the Leader's Kit Bag is to share some of the most common things that affect people's motivation or cause them to become demotivated. Number one, you've probably guessed it, is micromanagement, or a lack of freedom or autonomy around what they do and how they do it. Another one is lack of progression. A third one is a lack of training. A fourth one is when people don't believe that the leadership of the organization or function is capable and competent. And then a fifth significant one is relationships at work, specifically where there are toxic relationships or bad, unhelpful behaviors being demonstrated that the leader or manager isn't dealing with. That's it for this episode of the Leader's Kit Bag. I hope it's been useful. Until next time, look after yourself, look after those you've got the privilege and responsibility to lead. And as always, folks, lead on. Before you leave, let me just highlight one more free resource that I've got available for you. It's the Ben Morton Leadership Community over on Facebook, which is my private Facebook group where I share exclusive content. You can ask me specific and direct questions and also join the live coaching, mentoring and masterclass sessions I regularly run there. You can join by clicking on the link in the show notes or just search for the Ben Morton Leadership Community over on Facebook. And before you go, I have one small favour to ask of you. If you're getting value from the podcast and the other resources I provide, then please could you take just a minute or two to leave a rating for the show wherever you happen to be listening. It really does make all the difference, and it truly does enable us to keep bringing you more and more episodes of the Leader's Kit Bag and the full-length main podcast interviews with CEOs and leaders. Thanks so much for doing that. I truly appreciate it. Thanks for listening, and until next time, lead on.